I'm gonna go ahead and get Winnie up to the stand. Question says, at what age do you think youth should get involved in sexual activity? If you feel so.
Everybody's looking away from me. Well, like I said, to get involved in sexual activities, this comes with huge responsibilities.
Get the mic closer because the people online, they're not hearing well.
Like I said in my presentation, sexual activities comes with huge responsibility. If you cannot take care of yourself, I don't think you should be involved in sexual activities because you just never know. There's risk. You might get pregnant, you might not. What if you get STDs? What if you get diseases? Can you take care of yourself? Do you have enough money to take yourself to the doctor? Can you take care of a baby? I think that, this is a hard question.
There's a number?
And also depends on your maturity. There we go, that's the word. If you're not mature enough, do not involve in sexual activity. Bottom line, just don't do it. You would know if you're mature enough. You would know. If you're responsible, you would know. So that's that. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay, thank you.
If there are any other questions, they can keep coming. I have until about 3:50 to do that. Mr. Chen? Yes, we haven't had you up yet, so let me put you in the hot seat. What do you think of universal moral values and influences of faith in our lives when it comes to this topic?
Okay.
People have some interesting questions out there.
Well, I think for people who are Christian, I think having faith behind teaching your children about sex. Okay. So I think having faith behind teaching sexuality is important because for me, my parents are Christian, so when they would talk to me about it, they always said, well, in the Bible it says wait until marriage, and that's something that I value. Morally, the way you raise your children, the morals that you put in their lives, they should be able to take it on for the rest of their lives. If you put in your children's lives that you should wait until you're responsible or you should wait until you're mature enough, they should stay with it. And for the faith part, if you do tell your children, if you wait until marriage, then they should wait until marriage. But at the end of the day, you may give them your morals, but we make our own decisions. So yeah, morals and faith are good, but at the end of the day, it's the youth's decision on whether they're going to wait until marriage, or they're going to wait until they're ready, or they're going to wait until they're more responsible. Did that answer your question?
Did that answer your question? Are there any other questions out there that I didn't get to somebody that suddenly has a question? No? Okay. All right. Well.
I'm just going to the youth, back at home, I know that the culture is a little bit getting down a bit to Western cultures, but back at home we do have arranged marriage. So in your situation, if your parent come to you and say, my daughter, my son, I think that if you're my son, I think your daughter of so and so, I'd like you to get involved with. Or my daughter, the son of so and so, we talked about it and I want you to look into that possibility. What do you think now? How do you feel about that part of our culture?
They all want to answer.
So, yeah, that's, anyone, you can all answer. If anybody has an opinion, step up to the mic, you can all give your opinion on that. So I think that was about taking responsibility in the way that we do it back home versus here. Go ahead.
I think context is very important. I think it would be we'd be doing a disservice if we were to just dismiss the cultural values and institutions and norms that guide certain communities within a certain context. And so back home, if you were to, to be the subject of an arranged marriage, you might not necessarily look at it from the way that we would look at it from here, because you're being guided by different values. It's a different circumstance. That does not mean that everybody back home would be open to that arrangement. I think that we also need to look at the reasons or the factors that influence those decisions, because I think that oftentimes when people look at arranged marriages or early marriages, people don't always necessarily consider the fact that this is also, this is not merely something this is not merely a romantic thing. This is tied to economics. This is tied to also ensuring that the culture is being pushed on to the other generations. And so your family would pick out somebody that they think could also help strengthen the family economically, or somebody that is suitable and consistent with the values. And so I cannot dismiss arranged marriage completely, because I think it's a matter of context. But I also do believe in being able to make that choice, which is not always allotted to people back home or even here. So it all depends. It all depends. But we have to also say that when parents are making these arrangements, it's usually in the best interest of their children. And that's something that we need to focus on.
Thank you. Lydia, did you say you had an opinion? Or?
Yeah, Gita mostly covered what I would have been saying anyhow. But just to tie it back to our presentation earlier, if parents, if you're knowing your child as a whole other being, if you're knowing their personality and you're getting to actually interact with them, then I wouldn't say it's in the best interest of the child, in the West anyhow. You want to be able to give your child a little freedom in terms of choosing that for themselves. I mean, you can screen them. That's always an option, right? But as far as choosing, you have to consider the context, as Gita mentioned earlier. So.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Dr. Irene to step up to the mic for this one. So it says, I consider myself to be an open, progressive mom. Can you help me understand how a high school 15 to 17-year-old can balance dating and schoolwork?
Balance dating and schoolwork.
Balance dating and schoolwork.
That's such a difficult question to answer. It varies from, I guess, one person to another. Does a 15 to 17-year-old have permission to date? How are they doing at school? Because in the end, what's happening in general, what's driving the behavior of teenagers is what their friends are doing. And it's not so much what their friends are actually doing, what they think their friends are doing. Because at this age, actually, a lot of teens are talking about things they may not be doing, but just to be popular. So you have to understand your youth. Is your child doing it to be popular? What's motivating that behavior? There's so much that goes into it. Maturity, sense of self. Is this person dating just to be able to fit in because they're doing it for other people? Then you already know you're going the wrong direction. High risk of having diseases, having difficulty saying no. And so that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
And a very family-based, it's a very really specific to the youth you have, and also specific to the family.